Welcome to SJ Talks. This is Krishna with another leadership podcast series. Today we are honored to host Mr. Syam Sagar Kumar Yarasani, a global technology leader, AI strategist, and innovation mentor with 28 plus years of experience. From mentoring 300 plus innovation teams to shaping AI ecosystems across industry and academia. His journey promises insights that inspire and transform. Let's welcome Mr. Shyam Sagar Kumar Yarasani on SJ Talks. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for having me here, for inviting such a big podcast. I'm very excited and I'm excited to share my knowledge, my journey. As you said, it spans across 3 decades where I worked with the industry, IT industry, working from beginner level like software engineer to I grown up to levels like where I was director, PMO, and CEO, and so many things. So here, I just want to tell you one thing. What I've seen is amazing, and also I just want to share, pour out my heart, pour my heart out with you and with my experiences. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good, sir. So you have had 28 plus years of experience in technology and 10 years you worked in the United States. What pivotal moment that shaped your transition into AI and innovation leadership?
Yeah, sure. See, if you talk about a pivotal moment in my life, which I took my journey into AI. So we all know about AI last 5 years or 4 years. So since the invention of ChatGPT, everybody came to know about AI and all. But AI, for your information, it's not a latest technology. It is there since 75 years on this planet. Okay, with 1950s, it started in 1950s with Alan Turing, a man called Alan Turing, which asked a simple question saying that can machines think? That question started. See, every knowledge, new knowledge starts with a question. So you can see like a question asked like why the apple is falling down on the earth, why it's not going to the sky. Like people think that these are all stupid questions, but they make a lot of sense. Like, going forward, when you see 70 years, 100 years down the line, you'll see the invention and see like what how visionary those people who asked those questions. So it started basically in 1950, and it is going on. It was having its own challenges because it was not funded and people are not researching and all. Like every now and then we are coming up with a model of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, somewhere like that. And after one, you have to, I'll tell you again, like you have to remember one person who made these changes on the planet, and because of that person, efforts of that person, which made all the planet saying AI, AI. They're after it. Okay. So what happened was there in 2017, a person, okay, I'm proud to say that he's an Indian. Okay, we need to talk about more about that person, that kind of person, no? Okay, I'll tell you the name. And he published a paper called attention is all you need. Okay, that paper made magics on this planet. That is why you see, that is the reason, that publication was the reason, only reason why AI is why all the planet is after AI. Okay, it is not a transformation, it is a paradigm shift. Okay, so whenever you talk about AI, you need to remember this person, and he has made an invention called transformers. Okay, if you see the full form of GPT, stands for generative pre-trained transformer. It's a transformer based model. See, and they use the technology invented by that person, Ashish Vaishwani. And here you can see Google Gemini uses that technology. Everybody uses those transformers. So transformers have transformed and our lives, and that is a paradigm shift. So there are a lot of things, okay, happened in last 5 years. My turn took my life took a turn after COVID. Actually, COVID gave me time to think what should I do as a technologist and all. And that's where I thought a technologist needs education. So then I thought I want to go back to school. So I did not know what to study also during the time, because I am basically BTech graduate, BTech computer science graduate, and I stopped the education there in 90s. After 90s, I did not have any education. Then I thought I want to add more education to me. Then I thought, what would I study? Then I was browsing university courses and all. Then I saw, my eyes stopped at one course called philosophy. So then I thought, this is what I mean, what I am. Okay, the all the questions in my mind say that, that is this is what the education I should be aligned with. Then I went back and did masters in philosophy. Then I moved on to psychology. Psychology has been my favorite subject for the last 30 years. Then I did that education. I'm almost like at the end of psychology now. And I also did, because I'm my technologist brain like said that you need to do something to add something to your technology stack. Then that's where I chose to do data science, PG diploma in data science. I did that. Then I went back to again like a master degree, master of technologies in AI, artificial intelligence. See, this is my academia side where I am very much interested. See, these certificates are whatever, not part of what I want to achieve to add to my profile, but what that those are the evidences like what I want to add to my brain rather. So that is what short, sir, about my journey of 28 years.
And that's a remarkable turning point. So that's thank you for sharing the journey. As someone who trained 300 plus innovation teams and trained 5,000 plus professionals, so what do you believe is the most important skill for the next generation of AI leaders?
Yes, if you talk about the what is the skill that technology leaders need is, they need learning agility. They need learning agility. They need to concentrate on that aspect. See here there is a machine sitting in front of you learning silently everything from you. Okay, what about your learning, what you are adding up to your brain? See, if you are not, there is something in technology we call that as human in loop with AI. A human should always be in loop with AI. Otherwise, there's some missing, like, they go like unbalanced. It is already outsmarting people in the way it is working. So if you give to make a content of something within seconds, within no time, it will make a content for you. So creation is not a no more a skill of human being. Okay, it has been transitioned into curation rather. Okay, what you want to do is you think about in terms of creation versus curation. Creation is already done, is being done by AI, right? But what about you? What is your role in this loop, right? You can say, the curation part. See, this is not a new thing, latest thing that we are following right now, where we are creating stuff using AI, and we are using it, we are adding some stuff, our personal stuff in there, and publishing it. So that is not a old thing, new thing we are doing. We have been doing in other domains also. For example, if you take a case of a music director, what he's doing, he is using the existing, he's already predefined ragas. In ragas, what he's doing, he's filling up some words and some music in it and some interludes, and he's making his own pace. So that's how the world is happening. So curation will get a higher seat. And when you are a curator, then what happens is you'll curate things, and creation is already all taken by, it is taken out from your plate. AI is doing it. AI is doing better than people. So you are creating images, text, and videos, audio, speech, so many things, right? So we don't need to worry about, oh my God, my creation is taken away from somebody else. No, don't need to worry about that. But you can be a better curator. Okay, and your learning agility as a tool, should be the main focus. Okay, in learning agility, what you have to do is there are two things, like, you have to adapt to the new things, and also you have to trash out the old things like that you don't want to do. So how fast you can do both of things will define your growth along with AI. So in parallel with AI.
That's an inspiring story again, sir. So, sir, how do you balance your roles as an entrepreneur, a professor, and startup advisor? So, like while staying at the cutting edge of AI.
Right. Thanks for asking this question, sir. This is very fantastic question, and I would say when I did technology, okay, and my life is always my from my childhood. I'm as a prolific reader. I read novels, storybooks, and read so many things. Reading has been my integral part of my life. Okay, and then I went and worked as a software professional. Then my reading has stopped, and after down the line when Wikipedia and they, because the reading resources were also limited to us. If you have to download PDF, those are not available during the time and all. No reading material, only we have to buy encyclopedia to earn new knowledge into brain. So Wikipedia has helped me a lot as a reader, and I have been reading like about history a lot and psychology, philosophy a lot from Wikipedia. So that has helped me a lot. And also I went back to school, keeping this in my mind, because I have been creating every time what I read, like newspapers, may it be a newspaper or any piece of paper, I'll create a notes out of it. So that has become my integral part of my life. And see here, what I'm doing, especially like if you see the separate this, if you treat this as separate things like education, IT profession, training, mentoring and all, if you take it those as take them as separate entities, then it'll become very hard for you. See how the body is working. We have hands, and we have legs, and we have organs, internal organs, which are working in a on different functionality, right? But if you take them as separate functions, your body will not work as a coordinated system, right? And so what I view all these things as like a total ecosystem to me. So I just logged into that ecosystem where I can wet my hands with lot of things, and all, and it becomes my part of my life. I never see that is any extra thing what I'm doing here, and I think like that those are my part of my life. And whether I tutor, I whether train people, when I mentor people and make complex software systems and all. So I don't think those are very separate. They are very integral part of my life, and they are a single ecosystem for me. So that's why I don't take them as a burden to me or any stressful events to me. Then what I feel is they are my ecosystem. So that's why I'm able to cope up this.
Gotcha. Balancing so many roles is truly impressive, that's it. And you have worked with the global giants like AT&T, Walmart, and JP Morgan Chase. What lessons from enterprise technology still apply in today's AI?
Good question. I had worked with big enterprises, the top companies like AT&T, Walmart, JP Morgan Chase, and Pfizer, MCA, WorldCom, to name a few. I worked with them like continuously for 10 years in my life of US, where I can see what I saw them is like they use all traditional software. Now they are moving to AI, like everything like it has to be AI. So if you ask me a question, what is the difference between the traditional software and AI is like traditional software is based upon some if then kind of conditions, like that we write in coding and all, right? So when you use those conditions, like for example, if you see like this room is there, we have a temperature maintained, and we'll give a condition when the temperature is going beyond 24, and automatically switch on the AC, right? That is just basically condition. And everybody mistakenly, so many lot of companies you see, they claim they are AI, but they are not. There is some difference, subtle difference between AI and traditional software. Traditional software is based on conditional statements, where we'll say like whether temperature is more than that, or the weather is this humid, or clouds are black. See, these kind of conditions we give to predict something in a traditional software. But whenever you come to but when you come to AI, you see the AI is not learning from your conditions. It is learning from the data. It is eating the data. It is looking at the data. It observes and it recognizes the patterns. Okay, it is such a capable machine that it can recognize the hidden patterns also, where a human being cannot be able to extract from the data. So it is such a powerful. I'll tell you one example where a doctor is diagnosing whether a patient has a cancer or not. He said he did all the tests, And he said in the end, like, after research of 10 days, he said, like, this patient is not having any cancer. I see clearly, see the symptoms. I went through all these reports and all. Then he decided, he concluded that person is not having any cancer. And same scanning reports and other medical documents, other medical evidences are fed into AI. AI said what? Interestingly, it said this person is having cancer. And how can it tell? Like, it found out all the hidden patterns in the data of where a man cannot see that. Okay, it can compare, the pixels in a X-ray, or to up to an extent of 1,000 levels. Okay, no man can do that. We have, as human beings, it is a limitation for human beings. I'm not criticizing, like, we should have had that kind of capability. No, I'm not telling that. Only I'm telling is, we have, as humans, like, we have limited visibility, limited hearing power, limited, sensory inputs, right? So where machines go beyond that. Okay, where a dog can hear like a 20 hertz of sound, like a man cannot hear that sound. That's why dogs are better than human beings, because in terms of hearing sound, they have better sensory. Likewise, we have a machine has which has better sensory than us, better capability of analyzing things. Okay, so it is going to the AI usage of we should not treat this as a replacement. AI can never be a replacement. It is an enhancer. It is going to enhance human capability. It is not our competitor. Okay, no matter what it is. No, see here, in a dancing show, the participants who are performing the dance and all, they are more capable than the judges. But judges, of course, they have their own role. Okay, they are not threatened by, because these guys are dancing more than us, they have more talent than us. They are not threatened of their jobs. So likewise, humans also, we are going to have their own, retain their own jobs. Only thing is that we have to work along with AI. That's what I can conclude.
That's a great insight, sir. So, and what excites you most about agentic AI and its potential impact on industry and society?
It, okay, if you talk about agentic AI, agentic AI is such an invention where we are trying to give autonomy to the machines. Okay, what we are doing is, so when it becomes autonomous, it takes its own decisions. Okay, otherwise it won't work as a AI, agentic AI. Okay, AI agents, whatever, see, if you see LSA agent, like, how do they work? They look like they are the separate entity from LIC. Like, they can come and fill all your documents, take your documents, fill your forms, application forms, and they do everything on their own. And they are very autonomous. So agents here in AI also autonomous. Like, if you don't give autonomy, then what happens? They'll not be able to take any decision. So autonomous is a process of a machine taking its own decision. It can plan. It can plan something. If you are going from somewhere to somewhere, it can plan your destination, and it takes use. It's a tool using machine. Like human beings, we, if you want to do some maths, we use calculator. And if you want to make a call, we'll use phone and all. So human is a tool using entity. And here also we are giving that capability to machines. And it becomes, whenever it needs to use some tool like that, it goes and grabs the calculator, it goes and grabs the phone, and make a call. So it can plan, it can use tools like human being, and it can take its own decisions. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, but there is a point that, how much we can trust the machines once they are given some decision making power. How much it will be, like, are they going to dominate us? Are they going to do something? See here, garbage in, garbage out. So the system works like that, where, when you put garbage inside, the garbage only will come outside. And you have to train wisely, empathetically, and responsibly, with good data, not biased data. Okay, it is like, spoiling the kids with wrong suggestions. If you suggest wrong to the children, like, they'll follow it, right? That's what you have to do with the AI machines also. The AI agents have to be trained in pure data, unbiased data. Unbiased in the sense that you don't need to put your own personal beliefs into data and feed him, and try to teach him, right? A wrong teacher, like, will infuse his own kind of personal beliefs into teaching, and tells that, and this is truth. So once a data is shown to machine, it believes that this is the truth. Okay, if you give garbage data, it will act as a garbage machine only. Okay, so we have to be very responsible with, especially with AI, because we are giving autonomous power to agents. We have to give them a good data and train him decently. Training is a process which happens in machine learning and deep learning. It's a process. Training and testing, those two phases, very crucial. Okay, so be responsible while training agent. As long as you train them good, they're going to do good for us. So anyway, empathy, things like empathy values remain with people, because no matter how much you train a machine, it is not going to sense how painful some event is, like human beings feel, right? For if you lose some of your loved ones, and you feel very stressful, you feel painful and all, that much pain, like it can mimic your emotions, but it cannot go through those kind of pains. That is the only differentiator between humans and AI. So AI, like right now, it is, they're autonomous. You can see driverless cars are already on roads here, somewhere in the planet, maybe not in India, maybe. And you can see that. I'll tell you one story, one interesting story, where Elon Musk company did something, with their cars and all. They did automated car delivery to the customer in Texas. What happened was, they made customer made some order, he placed some order, and the car got delivered automatically to his home with any driver, any person in the car. So they gave the address, and it went and parked inside his car, the owner's parking place. Okay, see, that is very interesting to see. As long as this car, driverless car, is responsible, we can give autonomy to the AI agents, no problem. So don't feel threatened about, because they are going to dominate. And I'll tell you one important point here. Okay, then you need to understand this. See here, the level at which AI is working right now is narrow AI. Like we call that as narrow AI, where things are, very. It can do only certain amount of tasks, some certain number of tasks. Like, if you take ChatGPT, it can do like 5-6 tasks very efficiently than human beings, not more than that. Where human being can do more tasks, like, hundreds of tasks on his own, and he's a tool using, entity. He can use different tools to solve the problems and all. He can use cranes, he can use screwdrivers, he can use lot of things like that. So now, what I can say is, narrow AI is like this here, and human intelligence is like this. So people might mistakenly think that, AI is dominating us, it is doing better than us. No, it is not doing better than us. It is doing better than us in only certain tasks. Okay, AI at a narrow intelligence level, and now we are, the humans are at AGI, like a general intelligence level. Okay, na? To have this AI to reach this level, so that will be at par with human beings. Okay, it is still on theory, and it is on practice, research and all. Research is going on. Okay, so now we are already we are there, like, we have more power than AI. Okay, once it is AGI, like, general intelligence, artificial general intelligence, they are at par with us. Okay, and there comes a stage, interesting stage, where the AI will reach to super AI. Okay, the super AI is it is beyond human capability. Okay, you cannot imagine how that is going to be as a human being. Okay, now in that age, it is still on papers, and we are trying to go to that level, and where you'll think that you'll be completely threatened with AI. So I feel that, personally feel that, no need to be threatened with AI, because as long as human values are there, and of course AI machines can mimic those values, but they can never go through the pain what yeah, human being is enduring. Okay, so that empathy's values will remain with AI. So that is going to be one differentiator between the machines and man. Okay, so in future we'll see super AI. I don't know how much time it will take. And once the AI reaches AGI level, like, artificial general intelligence level, then things will be little different. Now also, treat AI as thinking partner, not like, it is a competitor. It is not never going to be a replacement. It is going to be enhancer.
It's a exciting perspective, sir. So agentic AI sounds transformative for industries and society. Sir, what advice would you give to startups trying to integrate Gen AI into their products without overhyping the technology?
Yeah, actually, if you think AI people think that it is always technology. It is not technology. Okay, with especially with AI, responsible usage comes before AI. Okay, if you are not responsible, AI will will spoil all the world. Okay, responsibility comes before than AI technology in AI. Okay, so here what we are trying to do is, as human being, when I thought about this, what I did was, I want to study like other subjects. See, this is a ecosystem, like, where the responsibility is there, ethical values are there in, and that's where I went and studied philosophy, and I went and studied psychology also, and other things along with other things. So these two subjects, and AI without philosophy will be something like, mechanical machine. It will be just a mechanical machine. So AI without uh, philosophy will be a mechanical machine. It will be no more a thinking machine. Okay, and AI without psychology will be risky. Okay, and psychology, like, see, we are trying to put everything what a man does into machines, right? So uh, along with that, like, we put the flaws of the brain also, like biases, like, cognitive bias, or selection bias, all the biases also we put into the machine. Okay, because the data we have is that only. No matter how much we purify the data, cleanse the data, it the bias will get into the machine some way. So you can see the hallucinations we have psychologically as human beings, that is already imported in the machines. So hallucination for AI is something like, it'll tell all the wrong things, mistakes, all the erroneous data confidently. It says this, this is what happened, and it falters on factual information also, where you'll see AI is telling all wrong data. So this is when with the advent of AI, like, when I was trying with ChatGPT and all, I want to find out whether it is working or not. And I am a very prolific reader in history also. I am very much interested. I know a lot of historical facts in the world, and I started with something like, I want to ask this ChatGPT whether it knows this question or not, because during that time ChatGPT was trained until 2023 September or something. Okay, underneath, like, the bottom line of, ChatGPT, if you can read it, okay, the at the bottom of the screen, ChatGPT can make mistakes. That's what they claim. You cannot go to court saying that, ChatGPT misguided me, and, I want to sue ChatGPT. No, you cannot do that, because it is already it is not taking any obligation of giving you the information. Okay, whether it is right or not, whether you want to use it or not, that is up to you. That is your headache, right? It is factual data. Factual data is like, nobody, if you talk, I talk, or somebody else talk, like, it should be same thing. There is no personal belief in facts. Okay, when did Mahatma Gandhi born? It is a fact, and you cannot, nobody can change the fact. See, this is a learning mission. The machine is learning from you. It updates its parameters. Parameters is nothing but its knowledge. When you train a deep learning machine, it is like a neural network, right? Where you have input layers, you have hidden layers, and you have output layer. Little bit technology I'm telling. So this is like a brain system only, how it works and all. Okay. Now what happens is, with with this neural network, inside the hidden layers, you have something like parameters, weights and all. Okay, this weight is nothing but how it takes a decision in the end. Weight is nothing. So for example, if you talk about human brain, right? If you see the black clouds in the sky, then what you'll decide to, you take a decision on that information, saying that I need to carry an umbrella because it is going to rain in next 10 minutes, because I see black clouds everywhere. So how did you know that black clouds is equal to rain? Because of the data, because of your experience. So here, see, the machine you are talking to, it is silently learning. If you don't learn from machine, and you can learn back from the machine also. What happens is this is a loop, like you have to be continuously with that loop. If you disconnect and you go out of this loop, then you are totally out of loop, and the machine is going to dominate you with its knowledge, because one side it is learning, this side, if the learning is not happening with the human beings, then uh, that is going to be a dangerous situation. That's why learning agility should be there. You need to know like what to learn, and you need to know what to trash also.
Good, sir. Thank you so much for the explanations. The next question would be, what advice would you give to young professionals about building career in AI? What skills or mindsets and the values are most important?
Very interesting question. And here the learning professionals, working professionals, students, I can tell you, you are so blessed to have AI, a gigantic tool like AI in your hands. Okay, and why I'm telling this is, see here, before AI, we used to. I was an architect. I worked as an architect, and I designed so many things, and I gave solutions in terms of software, and I found so many obvious bottlenecks and gave solutions to it. And I worked with so many nations. When I was working in US, I was working in all the nations. I worked with Brazil, I worked with Latin American companies, and European companies and all. And I get a chance. And see here, during that time I felt that, the software industry is in hands of software engineers, okay, like us. We used to deal with coding and all. We code, we do the documentation and all, and deploy, boom, then people will use it. That's what happened with the software, traditional software. Now with the advent of AI, it has been, the technology has been democratized, meaning that everybody has their own technology in their hands. A farmer working in the fields like can create a AI based video, where he is explaining things in English. How magic that would be, right? So the technology has been democratized. Be maybe you are a coder or not a coder, okay? It works for everyone. AI works for everyone. You can customize the things. You can work with it at coder level. You can also work with non-coder level. That's how, like, all business managers, like HR managers, production managers, all type of managers, they're into AI. They're learning AI. I myself trained, like, a lot of non-technical managers on AI. Okay, and you need to understand, the prompt engineering is the new literacy. Okay, you need to learn this technique, as a non-technical person or technical person, you need to master this method of prompt engineering. What it tells is, how to talk to AI. AI is a machine which is like your assistant taking notes from you. If you give wrong notes to your assistant, then he'll do wrong things only. And how to get tap the resource, there is a big resource in front of you. You just need to tap. How to tap? That is the thing you have to use in prompt engineering. Okay, prompt engineering, there are techniques like, one shot prompting, two shot prompting, like, zero shot prompting, few shot promptings. And those techniques, you follow a prompt with a standard templates, like, you will give task, role, and all those things. All those things, you have to learn. You have to learn the prompt engineering, how to talk to the machine, and little bit about LLMs, like, large language models. See, the large language models are magic. They can understand human beings language. Okay, no matter what language you'll know, it, because of its training, it knows the pattern of the language. Okay, it learns everything by itself. You don't need to train any this student, actually. It learns by itself, and only thing you have to give is food. Food is what? Food is nothing but the data. And correct data, if you feed, it will learn any language. It can understand language, and it talks and it responds back to you in the own language that you are using. So here, what I can say is, the students or working professions, I can suggest saying that, you have to learn the new literacy of prompt engineering, and be aware of, like, how the LLMs are working. Okay, learn about that. And if you have this capability, you are the man going to the next stage, or you'll be left out.
That's a valuable guidance. Looks like skills and mindset are the real differentiators for the young professionals. Sir, what's the one piece of advice you would leave for the listeners, for the SA Talk listeners, without embracing AI in their careers or businesses?
Yeah. One advice, I'll give to the viewers is, you need to be AI activated person on forward going basis. Okay, see here, what is the key differentiator between the human beings and the animals? Human being is a true learning uh, entity, right? The species, right? So that's how we evolved. We started, picking up throw stones, and we learned the ability of throwing the stones and spears, and we made lot of things with the metals and all. See here, these are all the things we made those tools to be used by us, so that for advancement. Here, this is a new tool sitting in front of you. You have to learn that tool. Okay, otherwise this AI is silently learning from you, from learning from your data. Every click that you make on your phone, if data is generated, how the data is generated, like that. So every click you make on computer generates the data, right? Data is everywhere. With the advent of big data, the technology has also evolved to a new level, where we have to find out AI, we have to create AI. So the big data is managed by AI efficiently. Data science is there, another field, like, where you have those technologies kicking in and dealing with all this big data. Now, you as a if you want to survive, if you want to go ahead and develop in the future, be a AI person. So be equipped with AI. So learn the techniques and learn the new literacy, like, prompt engineering and all. Learn the technology. See, people use uh, I'll tell you one thing. So you have that AI tool with you, and I too have AI tool with you. When we use same prompt, do you think will you get like same content? No, you will get your different content, I'll get different content with AI. So why that happens is, it is the things like how the original relationship you made with AI. For AI, like, if you have to treat that like a human being, and you have to make yourself, uh, you know if you are suppose when you're talking to AI, you have to tell about yours also, so that it can establish the context. The transformers are best with context. They can know the context right away, and when you give correct background information. So background information is crucial. Share with share that with AI. Being responsible. Being responsible, what I mean is, don't share crucial information with AI, and because it is still black box, meaning that, everything happening inside, you don't know what is happening, where it is storing, how your data is being used. Because that black box process, you have to be aware that, you are responsible. Be responsible enough not to share crucial, the sensitive data with AI. So you use some vague names and replace content and all, then that you'll be fine with that. So learn LLMs, learn prompt engineering. You'll be the man for the next generation.
That's looks like a thought provoking, and your advice gives the listeners, I believe, that's a clear path forward. Get it. So that was an enlightening conversation with Syam Sagar Kumar Yarasani, whose vision for AI innovation and interdisciplinary leadership offers a roadmap for the future. Thank you so much, sir, for joining the Essay Talks. Stay tuned for so inspiring stories. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.